Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to try and get to something that might be a little bit more simple, a little bit more straightforward, which is going back to something I heard during the opening testimony of Ms. Kephart and Mrs. Barresi. And I apologize. You have a last name like Mulvaney. It gets mispronounced a lot, so I apologize if I'm butchering yours. About the visa waiver program, the basics of it. Here's my question to both of you. I am a French national. I'm born there. I'm living in one of the suburbs. I've become a radicalized Islamist. Can I get on an airplane tonight to come to the United States of America? Ms. Barresi.
You're doing great with the name.
Thank you.
A French national who wants to come to the United States for business or tourism reasons would require an ESTA. For any other reason, they would require a visa. The checks would be the same.
I want to get in as quickly as I possibly can. I want to say I'm a tourist because I want to come here and blow something up. Can I get on the plane tonight and do that?
If we have that derogatory information, absolutely not, regardless.
But tell me, even if you tell me the process I have to go through before I can get on the airplane.
You have to have, so you have to fill out an online application or a visa application, again, depending on your purpose for coming to the United States. And those are vetted. Regardless of either, the same biographic checks are occurring. You're hitting the terrorism screening database, the terrorist watch list. You're hitting State Department's holdings. You're hitting DHS holdings. You're hitting the National Counterterrorism's holdings. And you're going to be recurrently vetted. If we have derogatory information that you have ill intent, you're a terrorist, you're a known or suspected terrorist, absolutely not. Either one, you're going to get denied.
So regardless of whether or not I'm a terrorist, I'm a French national with a French passport, and I just decide tonight that I want to get on an airplane and come to New York, I have to go through the process that you just mentioned.
Absolutely. Nobody can just walk on a plane and come to the United States.
Ms. Kephart, is that right?
Yes, it's right, as long as that terrorist has decided to use his real identity. So yes, Kellyanne's process is indeed correct. You have to fill out an online ESTA process. You can even do that process at the airport, but it's only biographic, and that's the difference.
Okay, and let's drill down on that a little bit. How long does it take to do that? You said I can do it at the airport. Ms. Barresi, how long does it take me to actually go through that vetting process? Again, I'm assuming that I'm not lying yet. I haven't stolen passports. It's a different issue. I'm not trying to hack a computer. I'm just an ordinary French citizen with a passport. How long does it take to do that?
It's a short period of time to clear, assuming everything is coming back green. Certainly, if there's a flag of any kind, you're referred to the nearest.
Okay, and if there's no flag, because what we're hearing now is that while some of the terrorists in France in the Paris bombings were on some lists in France, others were not. So those folks apparently would not have come up on your background check, your vetting process. Am I saying anything that's inaccurate so far? If we didn't know about them and the French didn't know about them, they would have cleared those background checks, right?
Yes,
Ms. Kephart is saying
yes.
yes.
The response would have been the same, whether it was an ESTA or a visa.
Okay, so how long would it have taken to go through that process?
The ESTA application vetting is not a long period of time. You can do it that day.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I guess what I'm hearing then, and what I'm always concerned about is if I'm getting good information and the folks I represent are getting good information. And what I'm hearing is that if I read something on the Internet, saw it on the news, heard on talk radio that said that at least some of the Paris bombers could have come into this country and we would never have known about it because of the visa waiver program. That is a true statement.
I would really have to refer you to the FBI's Terrorist Screening Center for additional information other than what I've already said.
That's fine. Let's assume then for my question that the French didn't know they were potential terrorists and we didn't know they were potential terrorists. They would be able to come in the same day.
If there's no derogatory information.
Yeah, I'm not trying to accuse you of not doing your job.
No, I
I'm just trying to get information.
sir.
Okay. So, Ms. Kephart, how do we fix that?
As I discussed in my testimony, I think the win-win for everybody, for DHS, for the program itself, for the traveler, is establishment of pre-clearance and making that mandatory. Something DHS has been pursuing for a while. They're having trouble because every country they have to develop an MOU with. If you made it part of the visa waiver program and established some requirements, I think it would make it easier for Customs and Border Protection to do that negotiation. and to get that vetting prior to boarding, which is what everybody is always concerned about.
Very quickly to both you ladies, and I'm going to go over a little bit over time, but not too much, is the bill that the House passed earlier this week on a large bipartisan margin, does that actually help the situation?
Yes.
Ms. Kephart?
I was going to go first. Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
The bill adds practical security value in many areas.
Ms. Kephart, you agree with that?
It does. It reiterates current law. I don't think it goes too much further than what we have on the books right now. The requirement regarding information regarding people who have traveled to terrorist-known spots, that's going to be very difficult to enforce, I think. So I think it's a very good start. I really appreciate that it was bipartisan, and the White House is on board, and this is moving forward together, but
last question,
we need more.
I appreciate the indulgence. Last question. Are we more at risk from someone traveling here from the United Kingdom, which is a visa waiver program country, because of the information we get from them, or are we more at risk from someone traveling from Russia, which does not participate in the visa waiver program? Ms. Barresi.
Sir, I certainly think that the visa waiver program adds additional security value than just vetting the traveler alone, because we have those information sharing arrangements. They are sharing their known or suspected terrorists and foreign fighters with us. They are meeting security standards.
Because the UK participates in the program, they give us information that other countries that do not participate in the program do not.
That's exactly right, sir.
Agree with that, Ms. Kephart?
Well, I think the difference with UK is it's one of the I-5 countries, so we have better information sharing with them than we do with some of the visa waiver countries. So perhaps you take a country like Belgium, which is not one of the I-5, and then I still think the visa waiver program offers the opportunity to land in the United States in a more vulnerable way than the visa process does, although there are some benefits that Ms. Barresi has discussed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.